Good morning, and congratulations again to Leonard and Lorraine. Special privilege. Lorraine is an OPEIU member, so we're obviously incredibly proud of her. But also, all of the staff you see running around and working this convention are OPEIU members, who I am incredibly proud to represent. So please give it up for them. I hadn't planned to say anything today, but when Leonard came to me last night at 10:30 and said, "Tyler, you weren't our first choice, our second, or hell, even our third choice, but we need you now," I couldn't say no. So happy to do it. So for the first time, and again, I threw this together last night, so if I read from it a little bit, I apologize, but for the first time in the history of the OPEIU, the president's office isn't in New York, and it isn't in DC, it's in Texas. And as long as they'll have me, that's where it'll stay. I'm a second-generation OPEIU member. I was raised in the very union hall that I have the honor of working in now. My parents brought me to every union meeting that they went to. Last night in the lobby, I saw a young man that was running around, and he was excitedly showing the room full of adults his IUEC shirt that he had just been given to wear. That was the son of my brother Matt. Matt and I grew up in this movement. We went through the OI together, we went through the Y'all Summit together, and we've been doing this for over 10 years. And as we watched his son run around excitedly showing off his union pins to everyone, Matt looked at us and he said, "If I don't do anything else in this life, I know that my son will know that I stood for something. That I stood for this." Matt, you didn't know you were going to be part of my speech, but hell, I didn't know I was going to give a speech today. So I'm proud of you, brother, and your kid is exactly where they need to be, right here, seeing the hard work that we're doing. My first full-time union job, I was a 23-year-old with a newborn son trying to finish my degree. My union job allowed me to have work-life balance that I needed to finish school and provide for my son. But I didn't know that just yet coming out of high school. It was taught to me by my parents, ingrained in me, through experiencing how their union membership impacted every aspect of our lives. My mother was an OPEI union member who worked as a tech manual writer for General Dynamics out of college. She was well-educated and driven, and those of you in this room that know her, maybe even a little bit hard to deal with. But that's why she was good at her job. She could have easily been anything that she wanted, but she found her home in her union, and she worked her way up from rank and file to president, the first woman to serve in that position. My father was a union electrician with the IBEW. He worked long hours and high-risk jobs. His job was hard, outside in the heat, which those of you in the trades know well. Together, they provided for our family with good union wages and benefits, and they made sure that I understood where that came from. I never had to worry about whether there was going to be food on the table, or whether I could afford to see a doctor or play sports, and that was all thanks to their unions. I don't have her here with me today, but I normally bring my daughter to every union event that I can, because I want her to understand where her life comes from. Now, when I see what's happening in our country, to our neighbors here in Texas and across the country, I want to impart a different message to her, that the labor movement is our cause and our purpose. The labor movement can save us from these forces of oppression if we can rise to the moment and let it. Yesterday, masked, untrained ICE agents murdered an American citizen, a union member, and a VA worker in broad daylight, just weeks after murdering the mother of a small child in her car for protecting their neighbors. In April of 2025, ICE detained one of our members. Our government forcibly removed Jamal from his vehicle and ripped him away from his family and his community. The livelihood of his family, both here and in Afghanistan, hangs in the balance as he sits in a detention center in Arizona, hundreds of miles away from his home. Jamal has spent his entire life in the States helping other refugees find security and a new life for their families in Texas. He was part of the organizing committee that has now led to a new union of over 700 humanitarian workers across the United States. Jamal believed in his union, and his union showed up for him in his darkest hour, raising the funds he needed to be represented through our country's cruel immigration and detention process. His peers from across the country hung signs with Jamal's face on them to demand their employer continue to pay his salary while he was imprisoned. And they won that demand. Jamal is our union brother, and we will fight for him until the moment he comes home. But he is one of thousands of stories of working people being violently ripped off of our streets and held without cause. And it's just like we tell our members, playing nicely with the boss to keep them calm superficially is a losing strategy. The workers in Minneapolis are showing the entire nation that right now. Hiding in our shells in the hopes that if we keep quiet long enough, we won't be a target of this administration is not how we win. We win by standing shoulder to shoulder together and using the greatest tools that we have as a labor movement. We win by shutting it down. For decades, the southern states have been used as petri dishes in which to test out some of the most cruel, anti-worker, anti-human policies this country has ever seen. Too often, our states are viewed as the black sheep to the rest of the country that they would do better without. But the working people of the South are defying this. The working people of Texas are defying this. And you all know the saying, as goes Texas, so goes the country. So I'm here to say that in Texas, we believe in loving thy neighbor. The Texas that belongs to workers is the Texas that calls to abolish ICE and to put a permanent end to the terrorization of our neighbors, our friends, and our coworkers. The Texas that I know believes that an injury to one is an injury to all, and that united, we can change our entire nation by starting here. God bless you all. Thank you.